Okay, I've got some sound here. As all of you are aware, I just sent you an email that I have a family medical situations come up. So I am not going to be there today physically. I am pre-recording this session so you could see it, so we will have class, but I just simply we won't have physical class today. I apologize, but sometimes these things come up for you, just like they do for me. Fortunately, I've got Zoom and I can record what we would cover in class. So again, I hope you've checked your email. I sent it out this morning before 8 o'clock to let everybody know that there was no physical class session. Instead, I'm going to pre-record a session before I start doing the hauling around for the medical situation. Last Tuesday, Tuesday the 24th, we covered we covered Lunches Database 17. So today we're going to cover Lunches Database 18. Okay, as we start to move through the remainder of the course. Now, before we do that, let's do some quick housekeeping, and we'll click on that syllabus link. Okay, it tells us what all is due, and you know we've been working ahead here. So today, the business intelligence number 1 on page 25, that's due at 6 o'clock. Lunches database 10, 11, and 12, we've already done them, so you should have them uploaded. This first assignment from the business intelligence text is also due at 6. So we're working ahead, okay? And as I mentioned, I'll go back to the announcements and show you, okay? We are, last Thursday, we had covered, pardon me, Tuesday the 24th, we covered the Lunches Database Chapter 17. So today we're going to cover Chapter 18, all right? And as you could guess, we're coming down to those final few chapters, and we've been working with tables. And in this chapter, Chapter 18, we work with if, then, else types of Boolean statements. The if-then logic, that is, if a condition is met, then here's what you do. If a condition is not met, then here's what you do. And if you look over on page 674, which is the contents that are in Chapter 18, you'll see the if-then logic, if-then-else logic, excuse me, parameter queries, subqueries, and applications. And we will cover Chapter 18. So I'm going to start by going over to the files, okay? And let's see. I'm going to come down here to the, let's see, I've got LD18. I might have a Lunches Database 18 that I've already done. I'm going to open this file up, okay, and this says Lunches Database 17A and B. So we can do this. Let's go down to the Patrick. We need to get the Patrick files, okay, and here it is, the Patrick materials, and we'll download it. That's the zip file. Okay, and you'll want to put this, the SQL database, as well as the files on your desktop. So I'm going to do that. Now I probably will have an extra SQL. Okay, and let's see here. Where's my SQL fun? I'm going to copy to the desktop, copy and replace it. And then the access code for specific chapters, I'll copy and replace that, okay? So let's see, here's my access code right next to Cardinal Buddy. And then let me find the SQL fun database that it tells me I've got up here somewhere. What a mess. This is a mess. I need to clean it. Okay, hang on a minute. Now, find it. This is embarrassing, actually. I might have it in here. No, there it is. There it is. SQL Fun. I'm just going to open this up. I'm not quite sure it's in here, but we'll do it. Okay, so you'll want to work from your desktop, and so we have the code. All right, for I have my code for chapter 17. So we'll go down and we'll get the zip file. Okay, and Lordy, where's that at? Hang on a minute. And by the code, I need to clean my desktop up, don't I? So let me see if I can find it in this one file folder. I think I can. It's everything from fall 17. And no, not there. So I'm wasting time. Here it is. The access code for specific chapters. That'll work. Okay. First, you're going to want to upload the work. So you'll want to put them on your desktop. So we're going to look at chapter 18. Okay. And we'll open it up. There we go. And I'll diminish this down. We can do some work. Now, he starts this whole discussion over here and on about the case and decode functions, and that's that deals with Oracle. So don't worry about that. It'll be worth taking your time to look at it. Now, here in the middle of page 65, he talks to 675. He talks about the immediate if function. And this is a search function that says, if we find something, here's what we do. Otherwise, or else, here's what you do. Okay? Now, he's going to give us a task 1, and that task 1 is using Oracle, okay, and the case function. So, there's, you're going to override a value in one column, okay, and you're going to decode it. And then they have the case button. Okay, and he gives you some explanations about that to take a look at, okay? And then again, using the override of those functions. Now, over on page 680, he brings us to what's the important part, and that's the immediate if function, okay, in access. And he gives us some code. Now, this is back to a logic gates or logic Boolean or logical expressions. Okay. Now, at the top of page 681, we're going to see that, and this is going to be 18.1. They're using the access, and we're going to find 18.2. This is the access code only. All right, and he provides us this code, and he's still working there. That's strange. He's still working with the looks like he's working with the Oracle. All right, yeah, and we're going to use that first bit of code up there at that. This all looks like he's using Oracle. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to our database. We're going to click Create, Query Design. I'm going to close that, and I'll come into the SQL. And I'm going to input that code that's there at the top of page 681. And we'll put select. Back, let me do this. I'll put up here where you can see it a little bit better. Then we'll cut and paste it in. Well, I'm just having all kinds of fun this morning with the computer and all other kinds of things. Okay. Okay, we're going to select. I'm going to make these all 16s. You can easily see it. Select. And here's where we use the immediate if, IIF, and then a parenthesis, description, equal, and we'll put in single quote, broccoli, a single quote, comma, and then a single quote and carrots, single quote and a comma. So let's see what we have so far. We have the select if. This was selecting immediate if, and the description. I misspelled description right there. So equals broccoli, and then if not, then carrots, and then we'll put description, parenthesis, and we're creating a pseudonym, new underscore menu, comma, and we'll put price from L underscore foods. Let's talk about this for just a second, okay? Now this is 18.2, it's that XSSQL, and in page 681, and what he says is, okay, show an example of an SQL statement using the immediate if function. Substitute carrots for broccoli in the menu of lunch food. So it's saying anywhere I find broccoli, okay, I'll make sure I've got broccoli spelled correctly, BROCCOLI. We're going to, I'll make sure I'm spelling menu correctly. Okay. We're going to substitute carrots. Now he shows us the beginning table, and that's in the middle of page 681. Okay. And anywhere we find broccoli, we're going to substitute carrots. And then we'll see the result table, okay, at the bottom of page 681. So let's copy and paste this in. And you can see now how this fits with the if then else. Okay. So let's run this. Hopefully I've done my job. Oh, I did. I have a syntax here. And what I did is I need to L underscore, no, underscore foods. That was my problem. Now we can run it. And I've obviously misspelled broccoli. Let's go back up here and let's just wipe this out. This is just one of these things you go through and you got to do some coding, which is what we're going to end up having to do here. Go back over here. And how does he have BROCCOLI? Okay. I have broccoli in single quotes as new menu, comma, price from foods. Let's see what we get. Oh, this is not my morning music. I do not know why this code isn't working. I'll be honest with you. I'm getting some of these errors here. So we're going to select IIF. description equal broccoli, comma, then carrots, comma, description is new menu. This may be part of the problem. Price from L_foods. Let's see what we get here. Broccoli. Why am I not getting parameter value? Oh, there we go. That's weird. So we made the table foods. Now we got, that is just strange. This is, we're going to save this as 18.2. And notice what's happened. Carrots is gone from the menu, and what we have now is broccoli. Okay, and it may be, I'm not sure what was going on with that. Let's look at the design view for just a second. There's the immediate if function. So we've got that done. Okay, so that's 18.2. I want to save the changes. Okay. Now, when you save your SQL fund, okay, for today, rename it Lunches Database or LD18, either one, and then upload it where you're supposed to upload 18. Now, I want to talk about what happened there in 681, okay? The process is pretty simple. We use the select, we start with select, and then we have the immediate if function, okay? And it does a search. And it checks for a condition, all right? And you'll see the condition it's checking is description. And if this description equals broccoli, okay, then we want to substitute carrots, okay? And then we're going to take that column name description and rename it as new_menu. And then we're going to also get the price, and that's from the foods table. And you can see that all illustrated there. So when the broccoli is found is true, then the true value becomes carrots. Otherwise, if it's not broccoli, it stays the same because it doesn't change it. Okay, so that's 18.2. And now over on page 682, he's going to give us another example. This time we're going to do that same. So let me see if we've got the code here from him. Okay. And we're going to select, oh, he doesn't give us, he lets us write the code in. Well, let's just do it. Okay. Now, I'm over on page 682, very top. I've got select intermediate if description equals broccoli, okay, comma, then carrots, okay, and then description as new menu, comma, okay, and then we're going to do this. For the price, we have the line for price. We're going to put immediate if, and the description equals broccoli, comma, we'll put 1.1.20 a dot price parenthesis as price from L Foods from L_Foods A. Let's talk about what we did here for just a minute. Again, I'm over on the page, top of page 682. Okay. Pardon me. The top of page 682. We're going to use the select immediate if, and the description is broccoli, carrots, and then description as new menu. So if we find broccoli, we're going to substitute carrots, and we'll call that column, we'll rename that column as new menu. Okay. Now we do a second immediate if, and the description equals broccoli. Okay. If it does, then we put in 1.20, and I need a comma there. 1.20, and that's a price. Okay. 1.20, and then we have a dot price, and here we're using a pseudonym for the table like we've been doing. 120 a dot price as price. Okay. From foods underscore L_foods, and we identify the A table as foods. So it's just a little bit of variation on a theme. We'll copy that. And it's slow going. It's a slog when you got to sit and write the code, but that's okay. And we'll run it. Let's pray we don't have any errors there. And I think one of the issues that we ran into is that broccoli and carrots are, we're using them as capitalized in single quotes. And so I think what's happening is this. Now we'll take price here. I'll scoot it over. And for the broccoli, I have 1.20. So let's go into the design view and take a look at that. Pardon me, let's go into the SQL view. And I've got 1.20 as price. And mate, I've got broccoli. And I don't know why it didn't give me the 120. I think there's something in the numbers or in what we called up. So let's look at the foods table for a minute because we're running into a parameter issue. Let's open that up. Well, these are not, let's go back here for this. Close it. Broccoli and carrots are capitalized. Let's go back down to the SQL view. Okay. I'm just going to wipe this all out and we'll redo it. We're doing some slow jogging, but these are starting to get to be some fairly complex queries. And we'll put broccoli. And he's got capitalization here, and we're getting these parameter errors. And I'm going to put quotes broccoli. Let's see if using the full quotes makes a difference. Maybe it will. We're working with text files, and these are the kinds of problems we run into. With some of these text functions or how they should be expressed. So let's try it now. And so we'll pop it in here and we'll run it. Let's see what we get. I'm still getting the parameter errors. So let's go back down here to the SQL. Okay. Yeah, SQL view. Let's wipe it out because it's not. The problem is we're going to have to put. We can't put those in caps. So we're going to do broccoli. And we're going to do carrots. Okay. And let's try that. And it will be broccoli. And let's see if this will work for us. We're running into some issues with parameter error there. And this is kind of putzing around with a lot of this at times we have to do. So we'll run this. Still getting the parameter error. Let's go in and try. There's something in the formatting of that that's not jiving up. Now let's put broccoli in single quotes. Okay. Comma, then carrots. Okay. Let's run this, and this is on page 682, and he didn't provide us the code, so we're kind of having to do this by hand. But that's all right, we'll get it. We'll run it. We'll query. We have parameter value, another parameter value, and another parameter, but we still end up with the 120. Now, we got that 120 because of the parameter error. So if we go look at the foods table, let's open it up again. You'll see the prices there. Now, broccoli is, and let's look at this design for a minute, because what we're getting some parameter errors, okay? And the menu item is, and the description is text. The price is currency. The price increase is currency. Let's go back up top and take a look at it. Oh, we're not getting what we want in terms of the 1.20. We're just getting the 1. Now let's look at this code that we've typed in. Now this is pretty typical of what we run into. Price is price. So it's capturing the 1, but because we're not formatting it there as price, and we understand all that's going on there. Okay. Well, let's save that as, okay. Now we're going to save this as 18. We're going to save it as 18-2A. Okay. And let's go into this menu. Now, we should, I think, be able to edit this. Let's put 1.20. It's not going to give us that. Well, let me look at this foods thing. The issue that we're running into here is, folks, is this is pretty common. Let me take you to the SQL view. To get this into currency, we would have to declare it as currency, which he does not do in the Access SQL. Okay. And that one means we're going to have to do some more playing. and it would have to induce, we'd have to induce it to give us the 1.2, I would have to put it in as currency. We're not going to do that, okay, but you understand what we've got going on there. Now you say, why couldn't I just go ahead and do that? Well, we could take a stab at it. Let's try the currency. And so where would be the currency functions? And this is pretty typical of what we're into. Currency. And I'm over here, I'm looking right now over here in the currency data type. It's over on page 215. I looked in the index to find it. So let's take a look here for just a minute. And we'll go to 215. And when we want something to be currency, there it is. And there's the access, the numeric data type. And so we're going to try this currency. And that means we're going to need a second parenthesis here to balance this all off, I think. Let's try this and see what kinds of craziness we get. Now, maybe that we're getting some parameter errors here. I'm going to go down to the SQL view, and we're taking it. We're in no hurry because we're way, way ahead on our assignments. This is why we do this. Okay, I have an extra parenthesis, so I don't need that. I guess it's telling me that. Let's try that. Okay, I have an undefined function there. Well, folks, let's go back here to the drawing board, and we've got and we want to put in that numeric data type. What I think I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go back over the table just for expediency. Let's try this. This will probably blow up in our faces too. So is it really, can we get it? Yeah, we can get into some of this. And this is number formatting. And I'm putting in equal sign. Let's see what 120. Nope, not going to let us. So probably the best thing we can do would be to go back there with that table, reformat it so we can run the query. But we'll just do this. I'll get rid of the currency. And I'm going to put 1.00 plus 0.20. Let's see if this, and we'll go back here for a second. Look at this code. We're doing a price as price from foods. All right, let's see what we get here. This may be an unmitigated disaster, but this is why I want, because I know we're going to hit patches like this. Let's see what we get. give an extra query in the expression 8. Price. Let's run that. Put that in it. And we still didn't get it. So let's just call it 18.2a and just leave it as is. It's one of those mystery things where it's just a formatting issue, and it's just something you're going to have. You may, if you encounter it, you're probably going to be better off to go back into foods. Let's open it in foods and design view. Okay. Now the price is there as currency. Frankly, you'd probably be about as well off to turn it into text. Okay. And we've got some validation rules on it as well. And then we have a price increase. So that's what we're running into there. And that would necessitate us having to do a little bit of work there. I think the author did quite a bit of work before he showed us. Now, we're going to talk about it over on page 684 about attaching messages. Okay. And so, and we're going to look at 18.4. This is the select item. And this is 18.4. So let's, now I'd had an 18.3 in here. All right, here we go. This is 18.3 using a case. He's using the case there, description, price. And we don't use the case and instead of case, we're going to use the immediate if. Immediate if. And we do that, and we put the price. We get rid of the when, comma. The price is greater than $2, and we'll put a comma under that. And then we'll get rid of the then because the immediate if implies that. And we'll put expensive item. And we'll have a comma after expensive item. And then we'll have single quote. And we'll put a parenthesis around that. And we'll try this as message. So we have select description, comma, the price, comma, the immediate if with the price greater than 2.00. Then we have expensive item, okay, and then a comma right after that, and then we have a value, or if it's false or it's unknown, and we put parenthesis there, and then we call it as message, and it's from L_foods, and we're going to order it by description. So let's see if a little bit of the work we've done here helps us out. Okay. And so we'll do query design, close, SQL, and we'll run it. And there we go. And that one, my friends, will be 18.3. You can tell it's been a little exasperating with everything. So we've got, what we did there is anywhere that the item was greater than $2, we put in a message, expensive item. Okay? That's all that happened. Now, we got that from the foods table. We ordered them by description. And they're ordered alphabetically. And there's our friend broccoli. So we've done 18.3. Okay. And and there in 684, you can see the beginning table, you can see the ending table, or the result table, which we got. And he gives us all kinds of notes about how Oracle works versus Access. Okay. And now, over on page 685, so we're going to divide data from one column into two different columns. Okay, so we're going to split a column and to create two new tables. He shows us the way to do this. This is 18.4 in Access using the immediate if function. So let's look at that. I want to check his, wow, completely different. And he's got, yeah, he's got the decode. Using the case function and all that business. So we're going to have to do this from scratch. Another one of these will live. Okay, this is 18.4. This is the Access SQL using the immediate if function right there in the middle of page 686. So we're going to select item, comma. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and I'll make all this bigger so we can see it. Immediate if, comma, cost is less than 0. Then we'll have cost and we've got cost, comma, and then we have that single quote, space, single quote, and we'll close that as debits, comma, and I'll size these up here and we'll do it. Immediate if cost is greater than or equal to 0. We have cost, and we'll do that. Cost, single parenthesis, space, single parenthesis, close it as credits. And this will be from SEC 1804 underscore finances and order by item. All right. Now let me size this up so we can see what damage we've done in that kind of a morning. We're going to select item, okay, comma. Then we're going to use the immediate if, and we'll start with cost is less than 0, and I'm going to move this over here so there's no mistaking. Then cost, and then an empty space, and then parentheses as debits. Then we do the same thing, okay, but this time we have a condition where it's greater than or equal to 0, and the cost, and then the empty space, and that'll be called credits. This is from the SEC 1804 finances table, order by item. Let's see what happens. I'm holding my breath just like you. So the query design. It's giving me a missing operator. So let's run this again. Okay. Let's go back up here. Sometimes I get some code. The author gives us some code here that just doesn't work. And I know that this should. Let's see, we're going to select the item. We're going to do the immediate if. The cost is less than 0. Okay. Then cost, comma, as debits. But the same thing as credits. That's just really strange. And we select from the finances of the order by the item. And I use the single parentheses. Okay. You can see I sound a little frustrated. You would be too. So a missing operator there. Now let's look at this for a minute. I think sometimes he gives us these just to stump us. Look at cost, less than 0. Okay, cost, comma. We'll do and we did the same thing over there. Cost greater than or equal to 0, then as credits. Well, he shows us the beginning table and the result table with the debits. And I don't know why I'm getting this kind of an error, an operator error, unless it's this. So let's try again to see if we get another operator error. And this is just one of these things where folks, you'll run into them and it mystifies you. And I don't know why in the world we've got this. I'm going to do something here for a minute, okay? I know you can be a little unnerved by all of this. He's using the case here. He's using he's using all Oracle. So I'm going to go back here for the website for a second. And I'm going to open up Lunch's database. LD 17A and 18. And I'm going to publish it, okay? I think this is the one you're going to want to use. Let's download this. And let me see what we got. What we got there. So I'm going to close that one off. The first one we work on, ditch it. This one called LD17A and LD18 is the one you want as far as I can tell. Now let's go down here and see if I can find it in some of the queries. I'll put all access objects. And let's see here. We've got 18, 13, 18, 14. We got 18.2. Let's look at it, open it up. All right, and we get the correct. I'll go down, let's look at the SQL here. I'm going to size this up. Now, frankly, to be honest with you, I'm as mystified as you are, but I don't want to save this. I'm going to close this off. No, I don't want to change. So I want to look at this. This is just one of these things where you run into these kinds of problems. Now, I'm going to take this down to the SQL view. And I'm going to copy all this because I want to see what we're looking at here. This is just some troubleshooting. There's no need to be panicky because, we're in good shape. And to select broccoli, carrots, description as new price, as new underscore menu price from L Foods. And so that works. It gives us what we want. We'll go back up here to the data sheet view. There it is. I'm completely mystified what happened. But this file, now this is over in the files, it's called LD17A and LD18. I just published it so you can see, and we've talked about this. Now, let's look at 18.2, example 2. And we'll open that one up. And here's another where we've got carrots expressed as 1.2. And I want to open that up into the SQL view. And let's copy this. I bet it's something in the table. And we may have had to have done something with the table earlier. But just just stop all the, we do the select immediate if, the description is broccoli, then we substitute carrots. And that's in the description, okay, column. Then as a new price, as new menu, okay, and then we include the price from the L Foods, okay. Now the second time, wherever we find broccoli, we put the price of 1.20 as the price from the food. So, I'm not sure what finagling I had done with this, but we'll run the query. And there it is. So that's 18.2 example 2. And as folks, just sometimes this happens, you forget you've done something to a table or messed with it. And that's probably what's happened. Well, here's 18.3, okay? And now we did get that one to work, and that's where we use the message. Okay, so far so good. All right, now we're ready to look at 18.4, and let's look at it we'll open it up, and here, what we've done here is we've taken the table, okay, and what we've done is we've taken the beginning table, that's the finances table, and that's shown at the bottom of 686, that beginning table. And then we've classified that list of expenses, those costs, into debits and credits, okay? Now let's look at the SQL under here. And I'm just going to tell you what I think happened with us earlier is the table had been altered. And we've got select the item, comma, immediate if cost is less than 0, and cost, and we have the parentheses, the space as debits, and we do another search, immediate if cost is greater than or equal to 0, then the cost is as credits. So we've separated them into credits and debits, and we use the Section 1804 finances, we ordered it by item. And there it is. Now, obviously, a car repair. Yeah, mom gives us money. It's a credit. Okay. If we have an expense here in this, it's classified as a debit. If we get a debt repaid by the friend, that's a credit. Now, Jim's credit is at zero balance with us, just like you want to have a zero balance on your student loans or on your credit cards, then lunch, the opera tickets, rent. Now, rent is a credit. Why is that? Well, if you pay for the rent at the first of the month, you have an asset because you have a credit, okay? You haven't exhausted. Now, at the end of the month, you'll have used that credit, i.e. the rent, and then the Samsonite suitcase. So far, so good, okay? And then here's 18.5. Let's look at it. We'll open it up. And on 18.5, we're going to apply two functions to a different part of the data. And let's look at this. We're going to, and I'll put this into the SQL. I'll copy this. I'll put it up here where we can see it. Okay. We're going to select the description. And if the price is greater than $2, then we're going to take the price times 1.5. In other words, a 5% price increase. Otherwise, it will be a 10% pricing, a price times 1.10. In other words, a 10% price increase. So if the price is greater than $2, we're going to increase them by 5%. Otherwise, the price will go up 10%. And we're going to create a new column called as new underscore price, and that's from the foods table. Okay? So let's look at that and run it. And there we are now. If they're on page 688, we're at the bottom of 688, they show us the beginning table, and notice that we've got the price for the fresh salad, okay? And anything that's more than $2, we've increased it by 10%. And we've got our new prices. Fresh salad is $2.20, or it was initially $2. And the sandwich is $3.68, where it was originally $3.50. So again, this is the if, then, else logic that we're using. So we've got 18.5. Okay. Now, there were several of these that I had skipped through because it was dealing with Oracle. Okay. And then over on 18.10, we do a query and access with two parameters. So we're going to do a parameter query, and I want to open this up and show you. Okay, I'll open it up. And we'll add beginning date. And let's see. And let's see the date. I'm going to put in 8/16/99. See if it'll take that. And the ending date would be, oh, let's cancel that. And let's do this 18.10 again. Open it up. And they're going to ask us for a beginning date. And the earliest date there, I'm looking at that table at the top of page 699, would be March 2006. So I'm going to put 3-1-2006. That's the beginning date. Okay. And the ending date then will be, well, Merciful heavens. I'm so sorry, folks. Let's go back into this. Let's open it up. And the beginning table over there will be, the beginning date will be 1/16/99. And the ending date is going to be 4/1/2008. And voila, there we are. Whoa. Now, the output table, okay, here looks different, okay, from the result table at the top of page 699 because of the way we handled the dates, okay? And so we entered the parameter values. Now, let's go down into the design view and take a look at it and see what we're talking about, okay? Here, we're creating two criteria, in other words, parameters. And so it's somewhere, and we're using the between function, the enter, and inside the bracket is the first request, enter beginning data, and enter ending data. Okay, so we're building a parameter into each of those. And that's all that's going on there, and that's how we write a parameter query. Just like when you're asked to do a parameter, you're asked to do a parameter for a login. I'm gonna pause the share here for just a second. I'm gonna pause. Okay, I had to stop for a minute and answer the door. My apologies. So here's the parameter, the criteria, okay, the enter beginning date and the enter the ending date. And so we created those criteria there, all right, and out of the employees table. So that's 1810. Okay, and they talk about parameters over there at the bottom of page 698, and we'll go up here and we'll see. We're going to enter the beginning date, and the earliest one would be let's just try this, 16-AUG-1999. Let's see if it accepts that. Okay, it does. And then we are going to put in the latest date would be 01-JUL-2008. And we're okay. We get the same output over here. Okay. Now, if we wanted to, we could try to reformat these. Now I want to do that query at the bottom of page 698 because I think it would be good for us to try. So let's scroll on down here. And this is the very bottom of 698. We're going to write a parameter query that asks for the department code. So we're going to put select, then we'll put asterisk so we'll get everything. And this will be from the L_employees table. And we're going to provide a conditional statement where department underscore code, where the department code equals, and then we put in our challenge or our parameter, and that is enter a valid department code. And that this is not Santa Claus, that's my dog. And we'll put this in and we'll run that query. So we'll click over here and we'll click create, query design, close this off with SQL. and we'll run it. And we'll put in a department code, and then we'll put in SA. I think that's going to be all the salespeople. And let's go back in here because we need to put in a valid code because we've gotten a, let's go to the employees table and see how the department codes are handled. It's going to be SAL to get all the salespeople. So, okay, let's close this employees table. Well, see, now I had to know that, and I'm going to run this, and I'm going to put in sales. Oops. And I'm going to do the SQL view. And I'm going to run this, and I'll put SAL, and see, I think that's the correct one, SAL. There we go. That gets us all the salespeople. Now, I'm going to save this as, let's call this 18 dash, do I have an 18-9 in there? Let's call this 18-9. Okay. And we've done 1810 as well. We did two parameters. We looked at two parameters, a beginning date and an ending date. That's 1810. And now we're going to move over to 1812. Now, let me scroll down here for a moment. Now let's take a look at this. Okay. And we've got query 1812, if I can find it. If I did it. Pretty sure I did. Let's look at the design view. Okay. And we're going to select a description. This is one of these where we use a pseudonym for the table. We're selecting description, price from L_foods table, and as a, so, and then where the price, a.price is less than, and this is where we run a subquery. And the author at the bottom, page 701, has that highlighted for you. And we order it by description. Okay, and we'll run it and see if it blows up in our face, and it does not. It works fine. Okay, and there is the result set. Now they have you also change where the price is less than $2.31, and that's a variation on that theme. Let's go back down to the SQL view here, and where a.price, and there we selected, yeah, we selected the average price. That's what we did over here. I'm sorry. Yeah, the subquery involved using the average function, okay, with the price, and we ordered it by description. And so that's 1812. Okay, yet another interruption as I'm trying to get around here to pick up a family member who's got some issues and got to get them to the doctor and so forth. So I'm trying to get this done, so I have this at least ready for all of you in my 12:30 class. And my 11:23 class tonight, hopefully I can do something, or maybe do it live. I don't know. Anyway, this is 1812, and we just simply went ahead and we got that parameter query, okay, but what we did most importantly, and it's over on page 701, is we used a subquery. Now the authors okay, have shown you that subquery by highlighting that passage of code. And here we're going to select, okay, this is why we have a parenthesis. We did select that. That says, okay, subquery, we're running query, but a secondary query, okay? Just like we do a first order or a primary sort, then a secondary sort. And then we invoke the average function on the price, and we name B as foods. And so we used the same table, table A. The L foods table, we named it A once, then we named it B once. So we were able to use a subquery, okay, and then split that table up to get different views or looks at it. And that's 1812, okay. Now, over on page 703, the author walks us through query 1813, and I want to find it for you, and let's open it up, okay? And let's look at the code. Cool. So we'll come down to the design view of it. Pardon me, the code view. And I'm going to select all that and copy it. I think I'll get it all. There we are. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to select that we're using the in condition, okay, and we're going to select the twos dot number underscore 2, the twos dot word underscore 2 from the twos table, and I've done a little work with this. Let's see, this is 1813. So I've done a little bit of work with this to the twos dot number underscore 2 and the twos underscore word 2 from twos, and you'll see it easier up here. So I've done a little work with this where the twos number 2, and we're using the in function, okay? Now, the in function is, it shows us a list of values, okay? And it basically hunts those, and anytime it finds them, it gives us that output. And it's just saying is it in that or not? Now, if we say not in, then we would get everything. It's just the opposite, that's not in. So we'll go back up to the design view. There we are. And they give us the result table in the middle of page 704, the number underscore 2, word underscore 2. Now I remember now I had to do a little bit of work with this query to get it to give us exactly what we wanted to get. Well, we're going to come over to 18.4, and the author, we're going to work with 18.4, and we're going to see that one. And this is a query where we'll go down to the SQL view. I'm going to copy that. I'll come back over here where you can see it. Okay. We're going to select the number underscore 2, word underscore from the twos table, where the number underscore 2 equals, and here is another subquery right here where we select and we use the maximum function, and the number underscore is 3. And he gives us at the bottom page 706, 706, the notes about that from the threes table. Okay. And let's look at the result table over here. And he gives us an explanation about this. And at the bottom of page 706, what he tells us is that it results in a value of 18. Okay. And we find the maximum number, okay, and this is from the twos table, and the maximum number in the twos table is 18. pardon me, we're getting the number 3 from the 3's table. I'm sorry. That's the subqueries. We're going in there and we're getting where it equals 2. And it's substituted in. That's all we've done. That the subquery is just giving us that output. So we have the 18 and the word. Now, the author also walks us through on using the not in, and he gives us a warning over there, especially to be careful about null values. Well, let's do example 2 of 1814. And we'll open it up. Okay, and here we get another one where we're basically on the second example, we're just getting the resulting word. Now, we'll go down to the SQL view, and you can see we're using the does not equal. Okay, and that's basically the same as not in. So we'll go back up to the data sheet view, and that we've got 18.4 example 2. All right. Now, I think I did an 1815, or I might have stopped. Yeah, I did an 1815 example 2. And we'll open that up. All right. This is over on page 709, excuse me. And we select the number 2 and the word 2 from the 2's table. And here we use the not in clause. Okay. And we get it where it's not null. And so anything that's null is eliminated. We'll go down to the SQL view and we'll see that. And he tells us we want to be careful about the not in with nulls, because if we use the not in and we forget to ensure that we're not after null values, we'll get a bunch of null values. And so that's how we get squirrely looking reports. He walks us through some more of this over in 1817. And I don't feel the need for you really to do that. He shows us the Oracle SQL. And then correlated subqueries. And over page 714, 17, 15, okay, he gives us several steps we go through to get using those subqueries to get a result table. And notice what we end up with is just that number 2, word 2. And so then also on the bottom of page 716, okay, this is in chapter 18, he shows us the exists. If you look there, you'll see at the bottom of page 716, you're going to see where exists, okay, and that's the where exists function. And then in 1821, we use a subquery to write an outer join. And I believe he has that in the code here. You'll want to take a look at that and see if it does. There are going to be those cases where, no, I don't want to save that, because that code is, then he's got nested subqueries. He talks about those, and that pretty much hits the limits, okay, of chapter 18. And so this file, okay, I'm going to close it off. All right, I'm going to close this other file off. I won't save this. Now, you say this file called LD17A and LD18, that's what you want to upload for let's just database 18. Okay? Now, we've done just about everything we can do in terms of working with SQL. From this point, it would become a matter just simply of a lot of repetition. Now, I want to talk for a moment about Chapter 19. Chapter 19 is something you ought to look at because it talks about multi-user environments. Right now, you and I have been working in a single user, but a multi-user environment is a different critter. And then what we call a distributed database environment. And I want you to read those just to be familiar, okay, with them so that you understand. Yeah, and they give you a nice illustration there over on page 726 about how people are connected via the internet. And he walks you through some Oracle tasks dealing with security and privileges. So that's fairly useful stuff. The design of SQL, that chapter is extremely, extremely important because he shows you some real life examples of those, okay? And he also talks about online transaction processing systems. So, and again, he reemphasizes data warehouses. And so chapter 20, the design of SQL, is really something that you should read, and also take a look at the start of chapter 19. And then if you come over to page 751, you will see Oracle is free, how to get your copy, okay? And so when you do the one major project, you'll have a choice to do that. So here's what I'm going to do. Let me go back up here for a moment. Let's go into the modules, okay? And we'll talk about where we're at now. All right? Now we have done all of the queries in the Patrick text and all the chapters, and you know where to upload them. Okay. Now, not next week, but the week after next. Okay. You're going to see this. Check your understanding. This is a big exercise as you do some of the check your understanding problems out of the chapters. I've got those identified. If you wish, you can do an alternative assignment. You can download Oracle, and that Appendix A, Oracle is free. If you have your own machine and you want to do that as an alternative, do so. Then you also have another project, and that's SAS Visual Analytics. Okay? And there are the instructions for that. And then, and this is on the week of the 7th and the 9th, you'll have some exercises out of the business intelligence text. Okay? Now, you should have already uploaded everything all the way up to LD 16, 17, and 18. Okay? And so we're going to be moving into that time frame and that period where what I will do is what I've done in the past. I'll be at the office, either the office in Shawnee or the virtual office during the class period. So if you have questions, you can come by and ask me. But I'll turn you loose on those as independent study projects. And we'll talk about that some more next week. And again, I want to say this. I apologize that today I'm not able to be there. In fact, I've got to get running around here in a minute and pick up a relative and take them over to the doctor. I don't know how long I'll be there, etc. But I pre-recorded this for you, okay? And I would encourage you, take a look at these, okay? I've got some code there. Take a look at these resources, okay, that show how we utilize database technology and these tools to make them either a business model or to enhance our business model or relationship with the customer. And so I would encourage you to take a look at that. Okay? Well, folks, I think that's just about it. So I'm going to stop the share and then stop the recording. And I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Again, I apologize. These kinds of things come up for me just like they do for you. And thankfully, I'm able to pre-record this and post it and get it over there and have it there for you. Okay, and I sent everybody an email telling you, I would give you a pre-recorded a class session. That there would be no physical class today on October the 26th. Thanks a lot, folks. Have a good one, and I'll see you next Tuesday.